Hi, I'm Eric Hartman with the Choroideremia Research Foundation, and one of the biggest challenges we as a CHM community globally have is getting genotyped. And I am here with Blueprint, and they do genetic testing even on a global basis. And I am hoping you can introduce yourself and explain more.
Okay, so my name is Thomas Borge. I'm one of the sales directors in Blueprint Genetics, and Blueprint Genetics is doing genetic testing in all medical areas, but I think within ophthalmology and inherited retinal diseases, that's one of our specialities. We're doing hundreds of tests every week, and we're working with patient organizations like the Foundation Fighting Blindness in the U.S. As you said, we have a global operation. We will get a bigger footprint, I think, in the U.S. now because we were acquired by Quest Diagnostics last year.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that affects our operations in the U.S. In the years to come.
But you were explaining to me that depending on the countries in the EU, it does go country by country. Is that correct?
Yes. The regulations are different in different countries. We see, like, I'm Norwegian. In Norway, all testing are fully reimbursed by the national health care system. So every patient that wants to be tested will be tested. But in other countries in Europe, the patients have to pay out of their own pocket. And in other countries, they could be covered by insurance, or they have to be evaluated case by case if they are reimbursed or not. So it's pretty unfair that it's differences in different countries. And what we see is that in countries where patients have to pay out of their own pocket, they will go for the cheapest analysis, and that is not necessarily the best analysis. So it's big differences between
and when you say
labs.
When you say the labs and the analysis, there's a question of just how many they're testing for. Which are for those that don't understand, that would be called the assay. Is that right? The number of potential genetic mutations you're looking for.
Yeah. So I think we are mostly doing gene panels.
Gene panels.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's an NGS, so next generation sequencing, and the quality is about which genes you have in the gene panel, that you have the right genes and you have the right coverage of the genes. And for some retinal diseases, you also want to look at the mitochondrial genes. And it's also about the interpretation part. So it's not only doing the wet lab and the sequencing and get the data, but someone needs to look at the data and look into all the different databases to find the relevant mutations for the patients.
Do you provide genetic counseling with the testing, or does that depend on the program?
It depends on the program. For the Foundation Fighting Blindness in the U.S., we have a cooperation with a genetic counseling company that is doing that. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but in many countries in Europe, they have genetic counseling, at the hospitals and the clinics as well.
That's great. Well, that's great information. So for our global community, it's so important that you get genetically tested. We believe there's probably a very high percentage of people out there that don't realize they actually have choroideremia, that they are currently living with a diagnosis of another inherited retinal disease, especially retinitis pigmentosa. So to the community out there, get genetically tested. Talk to your relatives to get genetically tested. And if you need any more information, you can contact us at the Choroideremia Research Foundation, and we'll forward you on to the people at Blueprint. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.